Hey, what's up? So, this week we've been spending time kind of getting used to fractured fairy tales. And last week we looked at the hero's journey and the steps of most fiction stories told around the world across time. So, we're going to be combining those ideas into a project or combining. There, that's how you do it. Anyway, so you guys are going to get to have a lot of choice in this project. You get to choose what story you want to use, what you change about the story to make it a fractured fairy tale, and you get to choose what your final project looks like what you want to turn in. So I want to look at this with you guys really fast to help you out. So this video that you're watching right now is going to be located right here. You guys are going to need to go to your Google Slides in order to complete this. It's going to ask you to copy the document. Of course, you'll click Make a Copy. And this copy is your very own. The first thing you need to do is to change the name up at the top. So at the top, it'll say Copy of Story Retelling Project Planning. I need you to put your name, except actually your name, up there at the top. So now that you guys have this, it looks a little bit confusing at first, which is why we're going to walk through this together. So with your story retelling project plan, you guys are going to record your answers as you complete this video, basically. You guys are going to record your answers on this Google Slides. There are 4 slides in total. The first slide is going to be where you guys are actually typing stuff in for the brainstorming. I'll explain how and what to do there in just a moment. The second slide is for daydreaming, aka letting your brain run wild, and for choosing what type of project you would like to do. By the way, to circle one of these, because it says to circle one, you go up here to Insert, then you go to Line, Scribble, and you guys can circle it like that. Yay, isn't that a beautiful circle? So you can choose whichever one you would like to do. But of course, you need to do these in order, and that one will be last. The other 2 slides, this slide has all the explanations for what type of project you can do. And the final, so you can have more information about expectations. And the final slide is going to be the rubric that your teacher is going to be using to grade your final story retelling project. So let's go ahead and get started. And let's look at some of these things together. Maybe, if I can find the right link. Oh yeah. Here we go. You're like, oh gosh, Strip Matter, we've seen this like 5 times. Not these slides, you haven't. Let me make it big so you can see what we're doing. Let me erase through all the slides you have seen. As soon as it loads. All the stuff about fractured fairy tales and all the reviewing stuff about setting and point of view. We're going to put all of that together now. Sorry about the craziness on your screen. Okay, here we go. So now finally, it is your turn to get creative with your own story. I'm not actually asking you guys to write a story from scratch. You're going to be tweaking a story that already exists. So today is all about the brainstorming. So for stage 1, what you guys are going to work on right now is I want you to just brainstorm a few stories that you really like. These need to be stories that you know very well. You're going to have to figure out the hero's journey stages for some of them. So you really got to know that story in and out. Like, it's nice that I like the movie Cars, but I don't know it well enough to know every part of it. So I wouldn't pick that one. Whereas I totally know Moana. So you're going to write these down on that slide. Here's a few examples if you want to leave this video paused for examples to think to write down. If you are looking for something kind of straightforward, I would recommend choosing a fairy tale like Cinderella or Rapunzel, The Frog Prince, Beauty and the Beast, or choosing a Disney movie that you know really well. You can technically pick any story though. So I've had some students asking, hey, can I retell this Spider-Man story? Can I retell The Hate U Give? And the answer is yes, as long as it's a story or a movie that you know very well. So here are some of your options down here. And if you'll just pause this video real quick, basically what you're going to be doing at this point on your slides is doing the story brainstorming. I'm looking for stories until getting ideas all the way until you get down to here. So stories you know really well. If you already know the one story you want to do, you can just put in that one. So now let's do the what if. So hopefully you guys have already done your story brainstorming. If not, pause right now. What are you doing? And let's see if I can find. That's not what I wanted. That's what I wanted. Okay, so now we're going to go on to the second one now that you've done your brainstorming. For the story, now I want you guys to brainstorm some what-if questions. Please be careful because these are not any what-if questions. This is not like maybe I'm doing the story of the Grinch and what if the Grinch was actually good? That's not the kind of what-if questions I'm talking about. You need to pick a what-if question that has to do with a different point of view or with a different setting. So here are some examples that you guys could use for your own what if brainstorming. So if I was doing the Grinch for a point of view, what if the story was told by Max, the sidekick, the dog, right? Or what if the story was told by Cindy Lou Who? For setting for the Grinch, what if the story took place in Hawaii where it didn't even snow? Or what if the setting was in New York City in today's modern era? So instead of having the Grinch and the Who's, you actually have people in the modern day world, but you're still telling the same story. So for your brainstorming what if ideas, I want you to brainstorm a few different point of view ideas for stories. And I want you to brainstorm a few different setting ideas for stories. You're welcome to take any or all of these examples if you want to. If you already know what story you're doing, so let's say you did pick the Grinch over here. For what if, instead of writing, hey, what if it's from the villain? What if it's from the sidekick? You could actually write, Cindy Lou Who, or what if it's from Max the dog? So again, in this spot, you are typing in what if questions, trying to think of telling it from a different point of view or trying to tell it from a different setting. Use that slide that I just showed a few seconds ago to help you know what to do there. So pause while you do that. And now I'm gonna go ahead and continue. So for choosing your story, I wanna know finally what story and what if question really mesh well where you're like, dude, yes, I wanna tell that story. Maybe I wanna tell Little Red Riding Hood, but I wanna tell it back in like Japan when there were ninjas. So she's a ninja. Or maybe I wanna tell Cinderella, but I wanna tell it like in the future on a spaceship. So I want you guys to commit. I want you to choose your story that you want to tell. And I want you to tell me what it is you're going to change about it. So what point of view are you going to tell it from, or what setting are you going to use? What did you change about it? So let's say, I'll show you an example here in just a second. So after you guys do that, this is committing. This is telling me exactly what story you want to use and what you're changing. Now we're going to get on to the daydreaming section. Dun, dun, dun. So for this one, I want you guys to get some good music going, close your eyes and just let your imagination run. I want you guys to just imagine. So think about what story you chose and your what if character, what if question. And while you're daydreaming, I want you to imagine what will change about this story. So if I'm telling the story of Moana in New York City in present day, how is that going to affect the character of Maui? Maybe he's like a thug, right? And maybe Moana's the detective. The point is this part should take you guys about 5 minutes. You're going to pause the video, get some good music going for 5 minutes. And I want you guys to just imagine how it's going to change. You'll end up typing all of those things in the daydreaming section. Again, I'll put that example up here in just a second. Last, but certainly not least, I want you guys to choose how you're actually completing this project. So at this point, you've chosen which story and what you want to change. And you've got some ideas of what you can do in the story and what you can do with the story. I want you to decide what you're actually going to be turning in for the project. So do you want to do I'm going to click on slide 3 here. Do you want to do a kid's book? And here's the instructions here. Do you want to create an Instagram? You'll actually need to create a Finstagram, like go on Instagram, create an actual account. So if you're not allowed to do that, don't click this one. Do you want to create a movie pitch? Like, do you want to turn, what happens if Shrek takes place under the sea? Do you want to turn that into like a movie? A movie pitch is when you're trying to convince somebody that they should make a movie out of something. So with that one, you open Google Slides and each slide would be a different part of the story, almost like a page of the story. Or would you rather just sit down with notebook paper or Google Docs and write out your new story? Tell me about Little Red Riding Hood the ninja, right? Or Moana, the beat cop or the detective. So you're going to pick one of these. And on your slides, you are going to circle, I'm going to go to Insert, Line, Scribble. You're going to circle the choice that you want. And that's more for you than for me. So you go back here. Give me one sec. So the product, I want you guys to choose how you're going to actually do that retelling. So your choices are, sorry for all the clicks. Your choices are right here. And you guys can actually find the qualities and the qualifications, the descriptions on your actual slides themselves. So in your Canvas, I'm going to go back to our assignment today. You've got a couple questions. So after you watch the video, this video, and you finish all your slides, so you've done slide 1 and 2, you need to take a screenshot of the first slide. So you're going to take a screenshot of this slide right here, and you're going to save that. I want you to upload that screenshot right here for question 1. For question 2, tell me which story you've chose to retell. Question 3, tell me if you're changing the point of view or the setting and what you're changing it to. And then for question 4, I want you to tell me which product you have chosen. And then that's it. That's a wrap for today. So really quick, let me show you an example of a completed slides. Okay, so here are the examples for what yours should look like. For story brainstorming, you should have a list of stories. For the what if, give yourself a bunch of different point of view ideas like villain, sidekick, mentor. Change the setting. Maybe it's in modern day New York, or it's a pirate setting, or it's in the jungle. Down here, you should have one story listed that you're committing to and the one thing that you're changing about it. So I said Moana in modern day New York. For daydreaming, this is where our things just get ridiculous. You don't have to actually do the things that you put in daydreaming. This is just a place to record some ideas that you have. So I said, okay, so if Moana is told in modern day New York, then maybe Maui's a thug that Moana has to work with. The Heart of Te-Fiti is actually a prized possession or like a diamond of a mafia boss who used to be good. Moana is tired of boring cases. She wants excitement and danger. Hey Hey is still her sidekick chicken, because why not? Or he's a really dumb cab driver. I haven't decided yet. Tamatoa the crab maybe is the mayor, and the Kakamora, the little coconut guys, maybe they're street kids and thieves that she has to deal with. And maybe I want to do all that as a kid's book. So that's a wrap. I hope you guys enjoy, just have fun with this. And if you have any questions, as always, make sure to send your teacher a message. All right, have fun. See you later. Bye.